along the bonfire because we're gonna go camping and play some indie folk music. What's up mga eksena? Welcome to my world, Elmar's World, where we vlog about the local music scene here in the Philippines, or what we call OPM. Now this is the special edition of our If You Listen series where we recommend some bands that are similar. For this episode, we're gonna talk about multiple bands in one video. Now before we begin, I would just like to tell you that the bands that we are going to talk about in this video are in my opinion similar to the aforementioned artists and not being considered rip-offs by any means. Shout out to the fans of these bands right here. Now without further ado, let's just jump right into the countdown.
Paradoxical chain reaction, drinking for my problems. My drinking is just another problem. Doing nothing yet, I feel so down. When I'm feeling worthless, optimistic, focused like.
There is Scarface, there is Ghostface, there is Leatherface, then there is Blurryface.
Blurry face and I care what you think. My name's Blurry face and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time.
Number 5 on this list, we got the band closely reminiscent to 21 Pilots. Now for those of you who don't know who 21 Pilots is, 21 Pilots, stylized in all lowercase or as 21 Pilots, is an American musical duo from Columbus, Ohio. The band was formed in 2009 by lead vocalist Tyler Joseph along with Nick Thomas and Chris Sally, both of whom left in 2011. Since their departure, the lineup has consisted of Joseph and drummer Josh Dunn. The duo is best known for the singles Stressed Out, Ride, and Heathens. That duo have been really popular, and in my opinion, I can label this duo as a multi-genre because the vocalist Tyler Joseph is indeed multi-talented. He can rap, he can do reggae, and he can also scream. And that is a big advantage even though your band consists of just 2 people. Now the band closely reminiscent to them is called Chasing Blue Cars. They are also a duo band, and the fun fact is, they are founded randomly in a drinking session in some house in Rodriguez, Rizal. There is not much of an information about them besides that. But the fact is, they have 2 records, namely, Living is a Luxury I Can't Afford, and a deluxe edition I think, namely Escapism. I have listened to a few of the tracks and all I can say is the likenesses to 21 Pilots is evident, and I am proud to present them to be the Filipino 21 Pilots. They have 3 MVs, which is Typical, a song that expresses mental health issues, a song called Dive, which is about life and how you must face it. Even in the face of the abyss, you must dive. And a good vibe song entitled Feel So Right. Now if you listen to 21 Pilots, don't forget to check them out. The link Feels So Rightly and Typically Dived deep down in the descriptions.
But it seems to me that everybody has a path, but some walk reluctantly. Or you can throw your map away, 'cause I'll be here another day or 2.
Prepare your sleeping bags, pack your things, wear your boots, bring a tent, some s'mores, and a ukulele along the bonfire because we're gonna go camping and play some indie folk music.
Indie folk music.
No, just kidding. We're gonna talk a little bit about indie folk. Now what is indie folk, by the way? We all know what folk music is, but let us just define indie. The word indie came from the word independent. So there are independent films, and there are also independent music. These kinds of music is mostly a scene consisting of hipsters, a bunch of people in their 20s to 30s who loves unpopular things. Thrift shops, coffee shops, anything vintage like vinyl records, and independent music that is somehow reminiscent of the 1960s hippies. There is indie rock, indie pop, then there is indie folk. According to my research, indie folk music is a genre that arose in the 1990s among musicians from indie rock scenes influenced by folk music. Indie folk hybridizes the acoustic guitar melodies of traditional folk music with contemporary instrumentation. The genre has its earliest origins in the 1990s folk artists who displayed alternative rock influences in their music, such as Annie DeFranco and Dan Byrne, and acoustic artists such as Elliott Smith and Will Oldham. In the following decade, labels such as Saddle Creek, Barsuk, Ramsur, and Sub Pop helped to provide support to indie folk. Artists of note include The Decemberists, Aldous Harding, Fleet Foxes, The Cave Singers, Beta Radio, Loch Lomond, Bon Iver, Great Lake Swimmers, and Blind Pilot. And the band that is in comparison to what we are going to tackle, which is... Yeah, you got it right. Mumford and Sons. Now, the band closely reminiscent to Mumford and Sons is called the RANSOM Collective. The RANSOM Collective, also known as TRC and originally known as Kian Ransom, are a Filipino indie folk band known for their spirited music that makes for perfect adventure tunes. The band, which consists of Kian Ransom for vocals and guitars, Jermaine Choa Peck for vocals and percussion, Leia Halili for vocals and bass, Sisters Lily for keyboards, and Muriel Gonzalez for violin, and Red Claudio for drums, first received wide public attention when they won first place at Wonderland Music and Arts Festivals, pre-event Wonder Band competition in January 2014, and played at Wonderland 2014. The group is currently signed to Mustard Music, a sub-label of Universal Records. The band released their self-titled EP in 2014, featuring hit singles Fools, Settled, and Open Road. They also released their debut album Traces on May 20, 2017. First song I've listened from them is the song entitled Fools. The music video is a perfect depiction of an adventure in the wilderness. The band cite their musical influences from the bands like Mumford and Sons, The Lumineers, and Local Natives, all of which is evident in their folkish vibe. They have a self-titled EP in a debut album released in 2017 entitled Traces. So if you listen to Mumford and Sons, you should listen to the RANSOM Collective. Don't forget to check them out, link in the description. Mix R&B with metalcore, and we will have Issues. Issues is a metalcore band that never failed to amaze me since 2012, and the band member that fascinated a lot of people is Tyler Carter. He is the singer of Issues and also a solo R&B singer that has 2 LP. Just to be clear about their musical style, here is a little bit of a research. Issues has often been associated with metalcore, having a blend of nu metal, pop electronic, and R&B. AllMusic said that the band mixed these genres to obtain nu metal, which has also been termed nu metalcore. The band themselves has commented that they wanted to mix metal and top 40 music in the same way that nu metal mixed heavy metal music with hip-hop music. Other than being labeled as nu metal, Issues has also been labeled as metalcore, pop metal, and R&B core. They are influenced by artists and groups such as Korn, Katy Perry, Linkin Park, Michael Jackson, Miley Cyrus, and Kesha. Issues can be categorized by the likes of Emma Rosa and Johnny Craig, both of which are metalcore bands with soaring R&B clean singing. Sad to say that their latest release, Beautiful Oblivion, is followed by Tyler Carter's departure due to some issues with the band. But the good news is, If you listen to them, you should listen to FAINTLIGHT. Quezon City-based band FAINTLIGHT was formed mid-2005 by Ron De La Cruz, Dave Pimentel, and Brian Gadja, and was soon joined by bassist Emil De La Rosa, a four-piece male-fronted lineup that delivers electrifying guitar-driven songs sprung from pop-punk, hardcore, and metal roots, constantly evolving and ever so resilient. The band released Flight, the debut album, last July 2013. FAINTLIGHT released an EP on 2016 entitled In Transit, and this record is a huge shift of sound compared to Flight. In this record, they experimented more on electronics to create a more ambient feel, plus the drum rolls which made the songs more intense. Upon listening to the tracks called She Knows Me Well and Losing Control, I can easily tell the close likeness to Tyler Carter in Ron's voice. You should definitely check In Transit, and I guarantee you will be amazed. And also, don't forget, if you listen to Issues, you should listen to FAINTLIGHT. The link is on the description.
Recognize the smell, this is who we are. Yeah, this is what we're made of. We ain't got no time for fucking pussies like you. Here the fuck we go! What? Here the fuck we go! What? Here the fuck we go! What?
Politically charged band Rage Against the Machine are indeed legends. For me, they are the epitome and the definition of true rock and roll rebellion. One example is the MTV Awards incident. This band has been controversial for their protest-perfect songs, especially the most popular from them, which is Killing in the Name, which is about police brutality. According to some, they are not just a band, but in a deeper sense, the meaning that they convey in their message created a movement, which sole purpose is change. I have encountered a few bands which I can tell are inspired by Rage Against the Machine, one of which is the band called Stray from the Path. Their songs are also politically charged, but they involve improvisations to fit the core standards of heaviness in modern metal. The band closely reminiscent to RATM that we're going to tackle here is the band called Curbside. The vocalist Migs Palispis rapping is closely reminiscent to that of Zach De La Rocha, with a little touch of Tool with more heavier instrumentation in comparison to RATM. According to Bandwagon, Curbside is Migs Palispis, Nico Ilaya, Russell Manaloto, Brett Meneses, Chase Bantug. Curbside started around the first quarter of 2010, and ever since these guys started to play, they gathered enough attention to say that these guys are for real. In other words, legit. Writing songs about different experiences and observations and all that bullshit ruining through our mass media. But Curbside isn't here to just make noise and attract attention, but they are here most importantly because they want to express themselves and by sharing their talent as a band to other people. Curbside's music is a combination of distortion that will bite your neck off sounding guitars, sexy bass lines, and heart-stopping drum beats topped with a melodic and hip-hop vocal flow that will surely bring you to the pit. Curbside released their first EP on the 20th of December 2010 entitled Bite the Curb, and their second EP on the 19th of December 2011, and both were a success. As of now, Curbside is still on songwriting mode and is continually tightening their craft, but one thing is for sure, they are here to stay and ready for whatever challenges the future might bring to these young musicians. Welcome to the Curbside. Don't forget to check out these guys, they are Filipino pride, the link will be on the description. Before we reveal the number one in this list, I would just like to give massive shoutouts to the following. Another legend is on number 1, Nirvana. I think most of you know who these legends are, especially Kurt Cobain, who is indeed a legend for starting the grunge scene during the 90s. He became the voice of the generation during that era, with their most popular song Smells Like Teen Spirit. But he died tragically by suicide. And since then, Cobain has always been remembered. Nirvana has always been controversial, and Cobain has been known to outclass every event he is in. The band that made Nirvana alive again here in the Philippines is the band called YUREI. They are the only grunge band in Manila. The name of the band came from the Japanese folklore YUREI, meaning ghosts. According to some interview article that I've read, what do you say to people who say that you sound like Nirvana? We do, man. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. Everything is derivative. Everything sounds like something else. If you sound like Nirvana, fucking sound like Nirvana, man. That's a compliment. How about to those people who say that you're the only grunge band in the scene now? That's also true. But I feel like, in spirit, we're connected to a lot of other bands, like the now dead The Gory Orgies and The Buildings. Parang neo-90s revivalism, but done through very conscious methods, like The Buildings. They're fucking aware that they sound like Pavement. I think it's just like wearing the influence on the sleeve. YUREI has an album called Random Schizoid Godhead Generator. That is a ridiculously long title for an album. But when I checked it out on Bandcamp, the songs also has ridiculously long titles. But the sound is so nostalgic and is reminiscent of Nirvana. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Now if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, comment down for a shoutout, share, follow me on my socials, the link will be down below in the descriptions. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell button for more updates on my upcoming videos. If you want to know more about the music scene here in the Philippines, you can watch my other videos here and here. That's it for this video. I'll see you next time.
What's